Good morning everyone, back in the workshop. Got this Singer 507. Quite an old machine now, but still really good machines. And the problem with it is, as you can see, it's throwing away, the fabric's not moving. The feed dog aren't coming up, moving the fabric along. I've already had a quick look at it, but I'll show you. You can see here there's a couple of gears. There's this one and the one behind it. If I turn that, you can see the one behind it has broken just in the corner, which should turn this one, which moves the teeth up and down. So it needs a new pair of gears. This one's broken as well, some teeth missing, just about see there. So I've got to give the customer a ring, let them know how much it's going to be to fix it. If they accept, I shall get a couple of gears, and then we'll carry on with the video showing you how I changed them. Okay, the Singer 507, I've spoke to the customer. She's agreed for me to change the gears, 2 broken gears underneath. So we've got one long gear and one short gear. First thing to do is to strip it down. We'll take the top off first. We'll need that later. So I'm going to service it as well as change the gears. No point just changing gears on the machine without oiling it all, cleaning it, resetting everything up. So to change the gears, you've got to take some more gears off, which affects the timing. So I won't just change gears, I always service the machine, so I know it goes out all fine, no problems, and I don't see it back for a while. Just take the bobbin case off, turn it so you can see what I'm doing. Press the foot off. I'll leave the needle in for now because I'll need that to time this machine up. I will change the needle to a new one. Plate can come off. Use that nice and clear. Turn it up. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay, first thing we've got to do is take the main power unit off, which is these 2 screws here. The reason for taking this out is because we've got to move the main shaft for the feed dog drive to the right, get the gears off, and this is in the way, so we've got to get this out of the way. Take the end cover off. This is a job I've done quite often, but I haven't done one for a little while, to be honest. But it's a fairly simple job if you know what you're doing. If you don't, it's not simple because there's a lot of timing going on. The hook timing and the feed dog timing. I've seen where people have tried to do them themselves and they end up trying to move the fabric while the needle's down in it. It really isn't any good. So we've taken this off and out of the way, and now I can get to this main shaft and move it that way to remove this gear. So the first thing we need to do is remove, let's see if you're seeing this properly. That's it. Need to remove the main gear, the hook timing gear, find the right tools. I haven't done one of these for a while, so, and I've tidied the workshop up, so I've lost everything now. Let's have a look where this gear is. So we'll loosen that off there. I think there's only one on that gear, yeah. And then loosen off the gear that's broken. There's only one on that as well. And then we have to, little spring clip on here, which I have to pop off the shaft. Important not to lose this because we need that later. Stops the shaft. There's a little clip there, you can see. That stops the shaft moving to the right. And then I'll loosen these two off here. We do some new Allen keys, to be honest. These are getting a little bit worn. Undo those two there. And the shaft will now move to the right. And keep on going until it's clear of the broken gear, and that will just drop down into my hand. There we go. There's the broken gear. All the plastic gone. I think the customer's already found this because there was no plastic underneath. So they've obviously had the bottom off and the broken bit's been thrown away. So we don't need that anyway. And go in the bin. I'll get my new gear. Take that screw out of the old one. Let's get it started slightly there. Push this shaft back in slightly. Push it all the way back. He screws up too much, I think. So I'm not in the shaft pass. Making this look very complicated, it's really not. Can't actually get that on the shaft, I don't know why. Why that's so tight. Let's just take these screws out. It's going to be white. We'll do it this way, then we'll pop it on and then put the screws in afterwards. It's very tight. That's it. See, not much room for manoeuvre once the screws are on the threads. That one there. I'm not going to tighten these because I need to time it all up after it's done. That's the one that's causing the problems. Okay, that's in there. So that can go back. I can slide this timing gear on at the end. just want to check for flat spot on here. I just want to get that in line with the screw. It's a little bit fiddly. Not the best job to film to show you, but that's it. Check that's there. Move that round. So all the flats of all of these shafts should all be in line. And I'm going to pop that clip back on that I took off earlier onto this shaft. That's the bit that lets everything else know where it should be. Pop that back, and then I can slide the shaft till that touches, and we know that's in the right position. Then move that across, tighten this up, so we know the shaft's in the right position on this. Cog here, hit that one. Tightened up loosely on there, and finally get that one tightened up there. I'm going to have to retime the machine, but I'll do it by this gear. I'll take this gear off at the end and time the needle timing. I can turn this one when I fitted a new gear to do the feed dog timing. Right, to get that one off, we've got to take this gear off now, which we do by undoing this Allen key here. This on the gear. I'll take this screw right out because it'll be in the way. That's it. There's only one screw on that gear. Just double check. Oh no, there's two on that one. Loosen that one off as well. That should move now. Okay, that's good. Just pop this little clip off here, this little spring clip. Careful with these because I don't want to lose it. That's good. I'm going to try and take this shaft to the left instead. I need a circlip. I'll do that circlip there, I think, on this one from memory. Oh, that's pretty solid on there, that gear. The needle's hitting the plate, so I have to take the needle out because the timing's not right. I can turn the machine over now. That's good, that's loose on there now. So I'm going to take it out this way. There's plenty of room. There you go. There's the other gear. You can see there's some teeth missing there. It's okay that side, but there's no point changing one gear. Even if that gear wasn't damaged, I'd change it. Again, just loosen these screws off again. There's only one screw on the new one, which isn't a problem. That's good. He's in there. That in there. Tap that in. Okay. So again, we can put that little clip back on the shaft. That's the guide to where the shaft goes at its most point to the left. That goes against there. Got to find the flat in the shaft. Screw that into. A little bit strange doing these jobs and making a video. It's a bit new to me, so it makes the job a little bit longer. Okay, so nothing's done up tight at the moment, everything's just loosely put together, so I can just check it's all working. So this turns, both gears are turning nicely. That's obviously going to stay in place once I've done it properly. It's all good, I think. So once I've tightened that up, that will stop that shaft moving out of position. Now I just need to time up. First I'll time up the feed dog timing. In fact, first of all, I'll put this electrical cover back. So you don't need to move the shafts anymore. Put this cover back on. On this front. That's good. That's on the top. That's on the bottom. These couple of screws back in here to hold it. And I say it's not a difficult job, this one, but it's just if you don't know how to set a machine up, you can tighten everything up. I think it's great. The needle hits the hook underneath and breaks the needle. All the fabric moves while the needle's down in the fabric, and everything has to be timed together. So there's the hook timing to make sure it catches the thread properly, and there's the feed dog timing to make sure it moves the fabric when the needle's not in it. Once those two are set together, it will sew nicely. So to check the feed dog timing, I'll put a needle in. In fact, I'm going to do the hook timing first, so this doesn't hit it. So we'll put a new needle in there. Put it on wide zigzag, and we'll check it when it's down to the left. So what I'm going to do now is loosen off this gear. It's the hook gear. Just check you can see what I'm doing. Yep, you can. Okay, so that's loose now. So now I can turn the hook to where I want it. Take that right off. And check the hook is where I want it when the needle goes down. Comes back up again. I can't really show you on the camera about the timing. There's lots of videos out there if you want to know about needle timing. It's all a matter of experience really. So that's timed, that hook is in the right place. I'll tighten this up. This is. Get that lined up so I can tighten it. Again, I won't tighten it right up, just enough to nip it up so I can turn the machine by hand and just check that the needle's not hitting the hook at all when it comes down. And then it's meeting that just above the eye of the needle. That hook engages with where the needle is. So I'm pretty happy with that. Won't really know until I try sewing with it. I think that's going to be fine. That's that. Now we can do the feed dog timing, so I know the needle's not going to hit the hook while I'm doing it. I'll put the plate on for this. Okay, the feed dog time. This is the feed dog here, so you have to make sure that as the needle comes up, the feed dog comes up above the plate with the needle. So you want the needle just to be clear of the plate, and then the teeth come out of the plate to move the fabric. To do that, can't really show you what I'm doing here because I'm having to look at the top and the bottom at the same time. Just turning it. Okay. So I'm going to bring the needle out of the fabric and then turn the hook, turn the feed dogs the way they would be travelling. And I'm going to just go level with the top of the plate. So the feed dogs are now level with the top of the plate, and as the machine turns, the needle will come up, the feed dog will come up. So what I've done now, I've timed it all up. So now when the needle comes up, the teeth come up, teeth go down before the needle touches the fabric. That's all good. I've just got to tighten everything up now. A little bit loose, that one. Tighten all these screws up nice and tight. All odd sizes, this old stuff as well, which is a bit of a nuisance. This just seems to fit that one. Doesn't really fit that one. Let's try this one again. Yep, that fits. Fits. Message to self, get some new Allen keys. These are so worn now. Lasted me well. It's very tight to get in and out. Okay, I'm just Just going to check the hook timing again because it might have slipped when I did that up. That does look okay. That's good. And double check all the, done those two, done those two, I think I've done one of those. Always just to double check these screws, because if you leave one undone you get the machine back a little while later because it's all gone out again. That's it, I'd missed that one, so that's good, I checked. Just double check this one, I know I've done this one. I think that's just spinning. I really do need some new tools. It's just spinning in there, okay. That's it. I knew one of them would work. So I think that's all done. So what I'm going to do now is just put the power to it and run it. If I've done something that's not quite right, I can hear it when it runs. And obviously adjust it. Okay, power on. Another thing you need to check on these, don't put this control module back properly. The switch isn't very in the right place, so just make sure the switch is working and then tighten it up. That switch is nice and free now, that's good. Okay, just going to run it slowly. A little bit noisy, but hopefully some oil will sort that out. Bone dry in there. I'm happy with the timing, happy with the feed dog timing. Not happy with the noise because it's very clunky, but let's get some oil into it and see if we can quieten that down a bit. Camera, just turn this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. That's it. Okay. Again, all the servicing I do, you'll see from my other videos, just working oil into all the moving parts, anywhere it's moving against metal, rubbing together, shafts, bearings. Only really experience which makes me know where to do it, so operate this reverse action. That's what it does underneath when you push this button. Doesn't sound great, hopefully I can get that quieter. They are a little bit noisy sometimes when the covers are off. When it's laying on its back. Sometimes you can just loosen the gear off. And that's the noise I think you can hear from that bottom. No play on it really though. Oil it from the top, might just be dry. Pop some through there. Make our way to the top. I'll just keep it running, it'll work the oil into it, quieten it down a bit. Yeah, I think it's getting quieter. here. I do believe that's a little bit quieter now. Yeah, getting the oil through to it now. Oil can make it, when it's dry, it can make it really noisy. Yeah, certainly. As I said before in my videos, just be careful how, if you are oiling your own machine, don't put loads in. Cause a lot of problems, not to the machine. It won't hurt the machine putting too much oil in. It's not very good for the fabric if it works its way through to the needle. From here now, that's a lot quieter. And when the covers are back on, it'll be even quieter. I will put a little bit more oil down there. Let's get on that main shaft. The action's good, going left and right properly. They're nice machines, I like these. Not sure when this one was made. Let's have a look. Okay, so the 507 was made between 1974 and 76. They only made it for 2 years, but I've seen loads of these. They sold a hell of a lot then. People used to sell a lot more then. It's about 50 years old. When I was a lad, I used to go to my dad's sewing machine shop. He used to work for Singers, and I used to go in as the Saturday boy. That's how I got to learn about machines. And I remember him selling these when they were new, so showing me age now, but used to sit in the shop and play with all the machines, and in the workshop and fiddling around. And 50 years later, here I am. Still think they're cool though, how they work. Setting the tension on the bobbin case before I pop it in the machine. A little bit tight. I don't like them too tight. I like a little bit loose. If needs be, I can tighten it up a little bit to get the stitch right. That's good. Okay, let me pop the bobbin in. Drop of oil where the bobbin runs. Just clean that groove out actually. That's it. Drop of oil, not too much, so we don't want it on the fabric. That's nice and free, little gap there to let the thread through. Lovely. Slide plate. Everyone tries to put it on this way. I've said in other videos, an old machine, still the same, the old machines. You can't get them back like this. You have to put them backwards onto this clip. Lift the clip up that side, slide it on, keep going, and that's all. Never get it on the other way. Under there. Put the foot back on. I won't put the base back on yet because I want to check it's sewing okay. It's the side cover. Oh, there's one thing I've forgotten to do, which I'll do in a second. The most important thing on a machine, the tension. Tension unit here, what I'll do with these is I'll do this screw on the side, rotate it round, strip it down. Still no components to these. That's an important part. This is the tension flange. I call it the flange. Got a little cross across there which is pushed by the pin in this mechanism. Sometimes they split or that's missing. Won't work without that being complete. So there we go. A little jet blower. Make sure the tension discs are clean. These machines have 3 discs, which makes 2 gaps between the two. So that's the centre one. So you can use a twin thread on these if you want to. Not many people use twin threads. This is called a check spring. Quite important on a machine, that little little spring. It keeps the thread in check. That's what it's called, check spring. Keeps it that little bit tighter while it's being taken up. Tension flange on there. That's called a beehive spring. Obvious reasons. That's got a little indent on that to stop it going past the 0. There's a little notch on the back there which stops it turning too far so it doesn't fall off. This is the main screw which holds it all in place. Sometimes awkward to put on because of that split in the stud. You have to have the split in the stud for everything to fit in there and not turn, so it's got somewhere to reference. Okay, got an issue there now. That lifting that foot should push this forward and it's not. So we need to take it apart again to find out why. I'll to hold that in there. So it has got a stud in there, you can see that coming forward as I lift the foot up. It's not quite reaching. There, and I don't know why. Pins can't wear really, unless this wasn't flat. No, certainly not reaching it. Take the side cover off, see what's going on. Sometimes the finger that pushes the pin gets bent back. A real pig to see. There's no point in me trying to show you because I can barely see it myself. What I might do is try and get that pin out of there. I'm going to do with a couple of tweezers. Okay. So there's the pin. That's the bit that pushes this part back and forwards. And that is not reaching. I don't know why. I think it's because the finger at the back is bent. What I normally do in this case, it's really a lot of work involved trying to get to the finger to bend it back. Try and do is put a longer pin in if we can find one. I might have to turn the video off and come back to you in a second when I found one because it could take a while. Okay, back again. I didn't find a longer. I did suss out what was wrong with it. There's a screw here which was holding this lever in place, was loose, which means all this was sloppy, and that is the bit that controls a bit of metal that pushes this. So once I've tied it up, you can see now that that's pushing that flange when I open up the, lift up the presser foot. So I didn't need a longer pin, just needed to sort out that problem. I did look for a pin, couldn't find anything. I've got a lot of parts here, but not those. When my dad retired, he gave me all his spares. So I've been hunting through them for a new pin, but didn't need one in the end. Let's just pop that back on. But while I was doing that, there was a big pop underneath the workbench, and I thought, what's that? And then the machine started running on its own, which is the capacitor gone in the foot control. So that's another job to sort out now. I'm glad it happened here, because it might have happened when it went back and then I'd have got the blame for something. But yeah, it's not the first time. I'm working on machines and the capacitors go in the foot control, just makes the machine run full speed. It smells horrible. You're lucky it's not smelly vision. It's a disgusting smell, I hate it. Pull that out there. That's good. Okay, I won't put the numbers back on the tension until I've got it sewing, because I know what to set it at then. That's all good. So what I'm going to do now is just sort out this foot control. Customer's name off, you want to see who that is. Okay. It really does smell, but I will show you what's gone. It just pops and smells. So the screw there, take that out, and behind here, just there, there's an indent. You can feel it with your finger. Just need to put a screwdriver through the foam. Behind there is a screw, flathead screw. I'll do it blind because you can't see it. Find it in a second. That's it there. No, I need a bigger one. Just got to find the slot in the screw. Undo that. This will come apart, and this is the capacitor. Show you it. Still warm where it's split, but it's split there. Hopefully you can see it. That goes bang. Don't actually need these in the machine. They were, when these machines were built, it's when we all had old-fashioned televisions and the machines used to interfere, give you crackles down the screen. Some of you remember that. Modern televisions and radios don't use the transistors and everything that they used to use, so you don't get radio interference from things like sewing machines, vacuum cleaners. It's just not a thing anymore. So take that capacitor out. That will stop the machine running on its own. A simple fix. These machines have them in the actual motor control. If you remember back, I removed the motor control module to get that shaft out. There's another capacitor in there, so hopefully that won't go pop as well. Otherwise we've got to take that apart again. That is what it is. It really does smell horrible. It's like burning rubber. You sort of hear the pop and then you whiff the smell, and then the machine starts running. So you know what's coming. It's a shame I wasn't videoing it when it happened. plug back in. That's it, machine's not running now, that's good. One. It's certainly a lot quieter, a lot better now than it was. The customer will be pleased with this. So they wouldn't have got a very good stitch with that tension pin not doing its business. Would have had loose stitches all over the place underneath, especially when you start sewing until it pulls itself into the tension unit. Let's cover back on here. Cover back on there. What I'll do now is the clutch on the end and the hand wheel. Get a nice good view of this. Get my hand out the way. Loosen that off. Turn that round. Take that off. Get some oil into that. That'll make it, when we're doing winding the bobbin, stop the shaft turning. Then loosen that off, push the bobbin across. Lovely, tighten that up, needle should go up and down. Perfect. Motor belts, nice tension. This plate on here. Bottom screw first. I do like these old Singers, made in Scotland. Not anymore though, made in Taiwan now. Couldn't possibly comment if they're better or not. I'll leave that up to the reviews. Not for me to say. Ooh. Sorry about that, not the camera. Right, that is ready to find a bobbin for this. Lady didn't leave a bobbin in it. Yes, she did. Put that on there. Thread on top. On the bobbin. I'm just trying to keep my arms out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Winding that nicely. Put that in the bobbin case. Nice bit of tension there, not too much. Make sure the foot's up, which is releasing this tension now. Perfect. I wasn't doing that at all before. Go through the guides. Not too many guides on these machines. Always fun trying to thread these up. Don't have needle threaders on these old machines. Used to have to use the old manual ones if you couldn't see. But you still had to find the eye of the needle. Just going to turn it towards me a fraction so I can see it. A bad eye day today. thread. Pull up the bottom thread. Just feel the tension I've got there. It's probably not enough. A little bit more. A little bit more. That's probably right. Okay, let's get some fabric. Right, so first thing we'll do, we do a straight stitch. So no width in the middle, fair length. That's good. Probably a little bit tighter on the top. We'll do a zigzag, full width, because I want to check the timing's right. If it does a full width, it'll do all the other widths. Missed one stitch there, which is unusual. It's a nice stitch, perfect tension front and back. That's good, it's not missing stitches, so the timing's okay. I'll do a little bit more tension on top. Slight imperfection on the stitch underneath, you probably can't pick it up from there. That's better. Just check the tightness of that. That's not too tight. That's good. It's nice and sounds much quieter. They're not silent machines by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a lot quieter than it was. Now we'll just do a short stitch. Do a bit of zigzag as we go. Just reverse works, which it does, back and forwards. Nice. I'm happy with that. Cut this off. So just left with the stitches that were good after I'd adjusted the tensions. And then the bin. So that is sewing pretty good. Now we can put the number on, like I set it to 5. Screw that on tight. Little screwdriver to do up the little grub screw which holds it all together. When I first took it off, the grub screw was in a different place. It's easier to see. Tighten that up. That goes up to 9 and stops, down to 0 and stops because of that bit I showed you. Back to 5. Take my thread back. And go under there. All we've got to do now is put the base back on. Let's give it a clean. Screw back on there. And there's a Singer 507 with 2 new gears, fully serviced, sewn in. I've got to clean it up, put a sticker on it, show I've done it. Let me do that now. If you like my video, please subscribe. Feel free to make any comments. Any criticism is much appreciated. Not always agreed with, but much appreciated. And that's great. Got a few years left in this old machine. Thank you for everyone for watching. See you on the next one. Goodbye.